Lil Tjay may be the most promising artist of his generation, bursting onto the scene back in 2018 at just 16 years old with his song Resume. The American rapper is definitely a star of the hip-hop industry. Today we'll talk about a side of him which you never expected to see, and that is his wisdom and maturity at such a young age.
I'm saying anything that you really go for hard enough, you could do it, especially if you've seen somebody else do it before.
Yeah, I love that, man. I love that.
I think this man is spitting the young facts. Obviously, as you go through life, oftentimes so many people say you can't do things, but Tjay knows that anything you aspire to do, especially if you've seen other people achieve it before, you can too. It's just a matter of your mindset and understanding that what other people say doesn't really matter.
But the way I feel is that if a relationship tears easily, or if it just tears at all, it was never that strong.
Once again, he's spot on. So many times we see rappers, particularly Juice WRLD and XXXTentacion, rapping about heartbreak after they've broke up with a girl in a relationship and all that stuff. But he's saying instead of feeling down bad, you should realize, okay, if it didn't work out, maybe this girl isn't the one.
It was no reason to be doing all the street stuff when there's so many other routes.
Yeah, there's so many rappers like Central C, Polo G to name a few, who made a living by trapping, aka hustling and selling drugs, just to make sure they could look after themselves. But Tjay realizes there's so much more to life than this. There's so many other ways you can make a living, like through music, rather than doing these dodgy things. He's smart enough to realize that he had to change his ways and do something else rather than continuing to be involved in the streets or with gangs, because obviously that's just not a great way to live life.
What kind of lyrical content do you not really relate to coming from certain rappers though?
All that drug music, all that cause it's like you gotta always think like if your mind is not right, then how you gonna do this long term? It's just working now because of momentum.
Tjay clearly seems to be somebody who's very switched on. He realizes that rappers all the time will talk about these topics in their lyrics. It's a very common thing to speak about or to rap about, but Lil Tjay himself knows that you're only thinking short term, you need to think long term and just focus on yourself rather than giving in to these things like addictive substances.
Yeah, that's that problem I have as I get older, is that I'll be listening to rappers and they talk about like they're trying to make like popping a bunch of Xans sound really cool. I'm like,
You know
man,
what I'm saying?
I know what that's
the
like.
image
It's
become
not that
bigger
cool.
than the music, you know what I'm saying?
So you were never attracted to the drug side of things?
No.
No?
Nah. It's just something that's just like all the way out of line to me.
Yeah.
For such a young guy, it's surprising to see him show that much maturity. Rappers all the time usually steer towards that kind of lifestyle of drugs and all these things, but Tjay learns to steer clear of that. And this is what sets him apart from other big artists.
Wait, so when do you go to jail?
Went to jail, I was 15
15 for how long?
for a year.
A year. So what the fuck happened with that situation?
I ain't even about to get into that. I don't even want to talk about that type of stuff because I don't want people that look up to me even knowing like that's irrelevant. That's the passion. You know what I'm saying? I'm focusing on becoming a new man.
It's inspiring to see Tjay determined to reform rather than be what he was before. He wants to be somebody that the younger generation can look up to. A lot of rappers don't really care about the impression that they leave on their audience, but he knows that now that he is famous in the public eye, so many people know who he is, so many people look up to him, so he has a responsibility to give off a good impression for the youth.
For sure.
I like my younger fans to look at me as like a role model, and I tell them something like, yo, like focus in school. You know what I'm saying? Listen to your parents. They want the best for you, some shit like that. Not go out and do the wrong thing, because if it was the right thing, I'd still be doing it. You know what I'm saying?
Tjay clearly feels a massive degree of responsibility now that he's in this position of recognition and popularity. He's got such a big audience, and so he wants to influence them in the right way, be a positive inspiration for them, rather than continuing to do bad stuff, because that will obviously rub off on his fans.